So now let's learn how to divide a fraction by a whole number. We know how to multiply now two fractions, but now let's think about dividing a fraction by a whole number. This seems fairly natural. Let's say, so there's some kids came around and ate one third of a pie, so now, or one third of a chocolate. So this was a whole chocolate. So here's a whole chocolate, nice big chocolate bar. So here's a nice big chocolate bar, and I can break it up into thirds. So let's break this up into one third and maybe one third here and one third here. So I have the chocolate bar broken into three equal pieces. But now this part is gone. Okay, so you can see that this part was eaten up, so only two thirds remains. Okay, so now we're only left with this part, and this part is gone. The one in the dashed lines is gone, it's no longer around. So now we have two thirds of the bar left, and there are four children. So now we have to figure out how to divide two thirds of the chocolate bar among four kids. Well, I mean, the way that we ought to do it is we take a third. So we should take our first third. So here's our first third, and we divide it among four equal pieces. So I'm going to break it up into four equal pieces. So it's going to be probably 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first third. And then I'm going to divide the second third into four equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four equal pieces. And from each one of these pieces, each of the children will get their share. So I can play the same thing that we did earlier. We have a red kid, the blue kid, the green kid, and the yellow kid. And what they will do is the yellow kid will get one portion from each. The green kid will get one portion from each. The blue kid will get one portion from each. And the red kid will also get a portion from each. Now please note, so that means they are getting two pieces each, and they're all getting equal pieces. But now note what we did. We took our thirds, so we had a third, right? So this was one third, this was one third, this was a second third, and this was a third third that did not exist. But we broke up our thirds into twelfths. Why did we broke up into twelfths? Because we took a third and we divided by 4. That's going to turn into twelfths. Another way to see it is, while we don't have it, but we could imagine that if we had a whole and we also divided it into 4 equal pieces, then we'd have 12 pieces. So that means each piece is a twelfth. And then each kid, let's say the red kid, gets 2 pieces. So that means each kid is getting 2 twelfths. So that means 2 thirds. So the answer, so if we write it out formally, 2 thirds divided by 4 is equal to 2 over 12. Okay? And the way we got 12 is really, it was really, maybe I should write it as 2 over 3 times 4, right? Because we had a thirds, and when we divide a third by 4, we get twelfths, and that's what we had over here, right? So if I break up this calculation even further, so what we started out with was that we took a third and we divided it into 4 kids, and each kid got 1 over 3 into 4, and then when we had 2 thirds, so that means we must get twice as much as compared to what we had earlier, which was 1/12. Okay, a different way of thinking about the same thing, but it's essentially the same idea, which is that you could use the division interpretation, although it's slightly extending the idea. So let me just, so 2 thirds divided by 12. Now remember, if you use the division interpretation of fractions, it's just equal to 2 divided by 3 divided by 4. And if you remember, we have talked about this earlier, that when you have repeated divisions, you can interpret it as 2 divided by 3 into 4, and that is just equal to 2 over 12, right? So for example, it's very easy to see that this is true. Maybe you have you have two chocolate bars, and there are 3 teams. So you first divide the chocolate bars into teams. So this is the top interpretation. You take the chocolate bar, divide it into 3 teams. So you have 2 chocolate bars. You divide them into team 1, team 2, and team 3, and then each team actually has 4 players. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you first divide 2 by 3 to give to the teams, and then you divide by 4 to give to each child, and that's how much each child gets. A different way to give the same thing is to first pool the result. So you would pool the 3 4s to get 12 kids, and then divide the um, the 2 chocolates into 12 kids, and you'll get the same answer. So that's why this has to be correct, right? And then 2 divided by 12 using the division interpretation is 2 over 12. That's another way that you can think about it. Okay, so either way it works. So now what I want you to point out is, and this will become more interesting. So I can say 2/3 divided by 4 is equal to 2 over 3 multiplied by 1 over 4, because we know both give the answer 2 over 12. So in general, what we can say is that you can interpret division as multiplication. So if you're dividing by a whole number, just multiply by 1 over that whole number. That's the interpretation that we are giving over here.